Just another day at the Atlanta Voice. Let's start from the end. Who is this? Meet Mr. Michael V. Roberts, Chairman and CEO of the Roberts Companies. He's also a black unicorn. He stopped by the Atlanta Voice to talk to us about money, and we sat down to listen. Well, in short, because he's a billionaire. He has a book coming out as well. I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Michael V. Roberts, Sr. I hail from St. Louis. I'm the author of a book, Action Has No Season, Strategies and Secrets to Gaining Wealth and Authority. One of the things that I've done here in Atlanta in the past is I've actually owned a hotel. It was in Marietta and owned it for several years. It was one of about 12 hotels that I've owned. Currently still own an outstanding one in Detroit, where I went in to help build Detroit back. I'm the only African-American owned hotel in the city of Detroit. I've built a number of residential projects throughout the United States, largely in St. Louis and the Bahamas. And I'm in Atlanta today because Bishop Dale Bronner and the Bronner Institute is conducting a seminar on affordable housing. So they've asked me to be a part of a panel to discuss affordable housing. I think for the most part it's a combination of a couple of things. One, to define what is affordable housing in today's world, but also for those who may be interested in developing. I'm a developer, and I would be giving advice and counsel on how to develop housing for low and moderate income people.
We got a chance to talk small money as well. I asked him to give a little advice to guys or gals like me, the average Joe and Jans of the world. Here's his response.
Well, I think the most important component in one's daily existence is learning how to manage money. If you are going to qualify to be in affordable housing, it generally means that you're spending more than 30% of your income on housing. So if you are above that, then the government is there to help subsidize you, and that's how this whole process takes place, statistically speaking. But managing money is very important. Understanding the importance of how you spend and where you spend, because it is, in today's world, it's a real challenge because of the higher cost of living. Frequently, the minimum wage is not really increasing to the point where you can even qualify to fall outside of that definition. So you need to manage what you have. We need to educate our children on the management of money very early. For example, if you provide a small little payment to your kids once a week for the chores that they do, they need to also understand that they need to save, they need to manage it. So that what we used to call and still do an allowance needs to be balanced. So especially in the African American community, we have to very early on teach our young people how to manage whatever their financial resources are. So to me, that in this world of capitalism, we have to acknowledge that money talks. And the more we save, the better off we are, and then we're in a much better position in case there's an emergency, but more importantly, to increase our quality of life.
Then things got a little deep. Ever heard of cryptocurrency? Well, if you haven't, you should hear about it from someone who knows. Listen up.
Well, people are hearing about cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Lite. These are all different coins. There's probably about 2,500 different cryptocurrencies, but it's a global currency, which means that anyone in any part of the world, if they own one of those or percentage of one of the so-called cryptocurrencies, then everybody has the same level and opportunity. All of that exchange takes place on a platform called blockchain. And blockchain is basically a ledger that's immutable. Think of a ledger where you enter data on a given subject, maybe a piece of property, for example, and then I'm able to determine, when I look at the blockchain and the history of that property inside of the block, to know that you would be, for example, the owner. Once I decide that I would like to buy your piece of property, as an example, we're going to make a transaction P2P, peer-to-peer, meaning I will be able to look at with certainty that your property is owned by you. I will have the cryptocurrency, whether it's a coin that I'm going to develop specifically targeting African Americans to get involved on an early stage, because we've really kind of missed the uptick of Bitcoins. But the action coin will be one that we can get in at an affordable level, and then we can exchange as our form of currency. But anybody will be able to use it, of course, but it's to target us to give us a little bit of a head start on one of the cryptocurrencies. Now, so if we're going to go peer-to-peer, that means my wallet, which is my phone, which carries all the data and information that I need to show all of the value of what I have, and I'm going to buy something for you for $50,000. I basically will take a picture of your, you will have essentially your database in your phone that indicates that you have, say, you have 10,000 coin, and I want to give you another 50. I have to take a picture of your code, and then take my phone, take your code, put in the amount of money I'm sending you from my wallet, which is like my account, and I just push a button, and it goes to you right away. Now, in the process of doing that, what we've done in the future, as a futurist, I like to sort of speak in these terms, you kind of eliminate banks, title companies, maybe even lawyers. So all of those carrying costs that we would normally have in a transaction will go away. And so in the future, you know, with the backbone of blockchain and the cryptocurrency exchange is the new currency. So let's define currency for a minute. Let's break it down. Originally, if you had a barrel of corn, and I had 20 chickens, and we wanted to exchange, then our exchange would take place, and that would be our currencies. And then eventually the currency became what I call rocks. Most people call it gold or silver or diamonds. They were basically rocks. So our mindset was to allow that to be our currency. Well, as that currency matured, it became physical coins. And then from physical coins, it became fiat dollars or fiat paper, or what we know now as a $1 bill, the $10 bill, et cetera. But what is that? And what's the value of that? It's theoretically the full faith and credit of the country that it backs. But what if there's a currency that goes across all countries and anywhere in the world, and it has the same value? And now what we've done is we've created in our mind a new form of currency that is accepted by all people. And when that happens, then any fluctuation in the market is good for everybody. I mean, there are certain countries I could go in and exchange a $100 bill for $1 million of their currency, because it just has no value per se within that country, based on the fact that it's backed by the country. But what if we could eliminate all that? And we can create this, and this is what is coming. So I just want more of our people to go to YouTube. You can look me up just to see Michael V. Roberts and see who I am in some of my speeches. But also go to places like TED Talks and type in, well, what is blockchain? What is cryptocurrency? You know, what is a Bitcoin? And educate yourself.
Wow, that was heavy. Don't worry, he also can describe cryptocurrency in one word, and it's a word we are all aware of, we all know, and have heard many times.
Well, if it's defined in one word, and that's too simplistic to be honest with you, but when it's all said and done, let's look at it from this standpoint. In one word, a transaction using cryptocurrency and the blockchain as the protocol to make the exchange of the cryptocurrency. The one word is trust. Because now I can see what I'm buying, I can see what I'm receiving, you can see what you're selling and what amount that you're receiving. And it's done peer-to-peer, and it's done within seconds.
As his chariot arrived, and after blessing the Atlanta Voice with his time, Mr. Roberts said his goodbyes, gave his hugs, his handshakes, and rode off into the sunset the same way he came in. In my eyes, majestic, something like a black unicorn.
Well, Atlanta will continue to grow, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the climate is good, so people in the north will get, as baby boomers continue to have more wealth and hold on to it, they'll look to come to the south. Your airlift is fantastic. It works out very, very well with your airport being one of the largest, if not the largest in the United States. You have all the sports. You have all of the entertainment components. Even Hollywood is here and looking to do more in Atlanta. So you have the brain power because of the number of universities and colleges here. You have technical schools that are beginning to teach more of the futuristic technologies that are needed. So I would say that Atlanta offers a very bright future and one that anyone would be interested in investing in and living in as well.